energized for this. Yeah. Okay. Greetings to all. It's nice to have everybody here for our Thrive Thursday. Our group isn't quite as big as normal so far, but we might have extra people jumping in here in a minute. So we'll see what happens. I am trying to find the play button for It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, which my talk is actually staged with what's going on behind me, with all sorts of gifts and presents and bags of good stuff and a few jingle bells and Christmas trees and the outrageous. And we all know and love the Christmas music, of course. But to start with, I think we'll start with an opening prayer. And Lynn, if you want to do that for us, I would appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm honored. In this very moment, as I sit and I breathe in this space, I recognize that there first is no separation between where I am, where Reverend Sue Ellen is, where Kevin is, and his partner, and all that is good. Even those members of our group that are not present, I know, are still with us in many ways, because I recognize there is only one, and it is the one that is here right now. That divine inspiration of Creator Source present in all things at all times. And I know as we come together for this meeting tonight, for this joyful celebration of Christmas time that is upon us, and the solstice as well, I recognize that what comes forward tonight is of the highest good of what Kevin presents, and that is pleasing, and that assists in growing us in many ways and bringing good cheer. And so I give thanks for that and recognize that that presence of love and light is always within each one of us. And I bring that forth. And for that, I give thanks. I know there is peace abound and all are blessed as we begin this meeting. And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, it is.
Thank you, Reverend Lynn. That was perfect, as all things generally are, no matter what they may be perceived at as times. So with Christmas upon us and bearing down quickly, I think there's 3.5, 4 days left. I wanted to discuss a little bit of the principles of Jesus, maybe. Depends on how you want to look at it. When I was thinking about Christmas and how it's become over the years all about gifts and presents and giving to others, which is, for me, always has been much more fun. I love giving gifts to people, almost more than I like to receive them. And I can't buy gifts in advance because I always give them before the holiday arrives. I give them away, or I just I can't. The anticipation is too much for me, so I usually wait until the last minute to do my Christmas shopping. Not for any other reason other than I don't want to give them away too early. So, but that's aside from my talk. When the story of Jesus is played out for Christmas and everyone came with their gifts, I think on a metaphysical level, I understand the principles of the story itself, but I'd like to address the fact that Jesus, being the proverbial Son of God, which of course we are all children of God, he was the gift. So they were bringing gifts to the gift itself. And the reason I start out with this is because I'm trying to tie a little bit of the mainstream Christian principles of Jesus into how I'm trying to create the idea that every day of our lives, we are the gift. We are the gift to the world. And that is not meant in a narcissistic way, in any way. um, what we present, what we show up as, how we respond, how we react or don't react in situations, no matter what the situation. Those are our gifts that we get to give to society and to the world as a whole. Because with those gifts that we give by our actions or our thoughts or the things that we choose to do in life and the paths that we follow are the gifts that we are giving every single day, not just Christmas. So tonight I surrounded myself with what looks like a whole bunch of gifts, including one that came the furthest so far from Oklahoma City, and many others, bags and all the pretties and the wrappings and the bows. But I think all of that and all the gifts that I give to people or that they give to me are all just um, markers, if you will, of the love that we try to express, when in fact the gifts that we give and the love that we express to people around us and to the world as a whole every day is more important than any gift we could ever give. Um, the the basic principles, I think, are God created us each to do something so that he could live through us for the experience. That's what the science of mind teaches us. That's what many of the writings of man in all different religious texts teaches, different verbiage many times, but it still does teach the same thing, that we are here for a purpose, and the purpose can change. It's not always one track and that's the way it is the whole life. It changes with time. The beginning of my life, I was doing one thing in a very small town in Idaho and growing up one way. And the adults around me probably expected I would turn out X, Y, or Z a certain way. And by the time I became a young teen and life started to change for me in my own head, my gifts were developing in a different direction than staying in a small town in Idaho. And I ventured out into the world and to New York City and everywhere else beyond. And Idaho, in the small town in Idaho where I grew up, just was not part of the future picture for me and how I would present myself as the gift in what I did for the world and what I could give to the world. And again, this isn't from any kind of pat myself on the back or any of us doing that. It's the realization that our actions and the things that we do on a daily basis are gifts that we give every single day. So the extra gifts at birthdays or whenever we give gifts to others in any way, shape, or form for any reason, holiday or otherwise, those are all just secondary. I think the most important thing that we all need to realize is that we, each individual, get to decide what gifts we give every single day by our actions, our thoughts,
So
who we
true.
support, what they support, as far as the people around us that we give power to or give our power away to sometimes. We have to remember to always choose and recognize that when we're giving our power away to somebody, is that power worth them having? Do we really want them to have that much power over others that we are supporting them with? Um, in this day and age, especially, we have so much going on around the world and in our own country here in America, that in the United States, that we have to remember that we each individually have so much power by what we do. Here locally, and this is just an aside, we had a special election because our one of our representatives for the district that I live in moved just over the line, so she could no longer be the elected official even for a short period of time. She had to resign. So today, not only was it winter solstice, but we had a voting day today, and we've been able to vote for 2 weeks in advance. And a lot of people don't show up to vote in these smaller elections. So they may have had 500, 600 people show up in the district to make the decision for this whole entire district
Yeah.
of who's going to be our representative. And I think that people fail to realize how important their gifts are and how much power they have when they show up to present. And I think that's why I wanted to talk about the gifts and how each one of us uniquely are the gift to the world around us by our thoughts and our actions. I think that's pretty much in a nutshell what my talk encompasses. And I have already asked the other people on the talk at the moment to get their little gift bows ready to go so that they can put them on their shoulders or wherever they look appropriate for them, just to honor the fact that we are all unique and individual gifts to the world around us. And we make a difference. Every single day, we make a difference. And you know, the old saying that, well, so and so thinks they're God's gift to women or to men or whatever. Well, this just takes it one step forward where we are the gift to the world around us and to humanity as a whole. And we get to be that gift every single day, not just on Christmas or anniversaries or whatever. Christmas is very important, and it's an important holiday for what it represents. And as I said, Jesus, the man, was a great teacher, and he led by example as he was teaching. And when he was born, and the story goes, they all brought gifts to him. I don't think they actually realized what a gift he was and what the purpose of his being was at that point. So they were bringing him gifts in honor of him, but they were missing the fact that they were the ones receiving the biggest gift of all. And I want us all to go out and experience that level of awareness as we go into our holiday season now and then into the new year, and remember that we get to be the gifts and our actions to the humanity around us and to the world as a whole. And with that, I'm going to close my talk and open for discussion. Anyone?
Uh,
Yes. Comments?
yeah, I was had a little ping when you made that comment that we get to choose to give our gifts every day. I think I just have never thought about that before, but it's so true because we get to really decide how we're going to be when we even get up in the morning. We make those affirmations about what kind of day we intend to have, and some things may look different than what we assume, but we're still in that affirmation throughout the day, and it's what we make of it. And in that same breath, we choose to give our gifts to the people that we come in contact with, or even to the world. Now, I'm not even sure what my gifts and talents are and skills. You know, you get those things you got to fill out, like, what are your talents and skills? And what, I have no clue. I just do what I do. I have no idea. I could never name them. But I know that if well, whoever I come into contact with, or even in this kind of situation, I want my heart to be open and expressing love and joy, even listening to your talk and being with Sue Ellen and Brian's over there and all of that. But there are times when we come into contact with some event or some people and we close down, and we are in that moment without realizing it, choosing not to give anything, possibly, you know. But so and it's all kind of involuntary for a lot of people. So I didn't realize that it's absolutely true. Wow, we get to choose who we're going to give our gifts and our love to and our talents every day.
How
I
we
thought that
show,
was great. A little
we
sentence, but
show
it
up.
really just like opened up a big like window.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Yeah.
Well, and the thing is also, and like you were saying, I think instead of making New Year's resolutions, which of course I've given up and I just do affirmations, or intentions. Um, I would encourage anybody who hears this talk to make a list of the things that you give as a gift. What is your gift to give, and how do you show up and represent that gift in your daily life? That would be the greatest way to start the new year. And that's always a reminder. If you can come up with, 10, 20, 100, great. It's kind of like the power of positive thinking when you want to find something good in a bad situation. And so, what's good going on in this job that I don't like, or what's positive in this relationship that's hard right now, or friendship that's difficult right now, and try to pull yourself into that scenario of positivity. And for many people, as Lynn just pointed out, they're not really sure, or they don't think that they have all that much to offer or a gift, or they haven't not isolated, but localized what it could be that they bring every day or have the ability to bring every day.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, it's just getting other people to smile. For some people, it's saying something that makes them think about their day in a different way, or just paying somebody a compliment can be life changing for someone who hasn't had a compliment paid to them in Lord knows how long. You never know who you're touching, even when you touch somebody with some random small kindness. So that's pretty much, those are the gifts. Those are all gifts. It doesn't have to be monumental. It can be the smallest little things that make all the difference. Sue Ellen, thoughts?
I agree that small things can make a significant difference. The idea that we can make somebody smile, that we can just smile at somebody and they'll smile back, is just awesome. And every now and then you'll run across somebody and you'll smile and they won't. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Hey, all right. Hope you have a better day. In my mind, hope you have a better day. It's like I put on a Post-it note on my computer at work that said, ask the universe for a happy surprise today. And so when I come in and sit down, it's right there. And I can say, okay, universe, what's my happy surprise for today? I'm not asking, I'm just declaring that it's coming. What is it? I haven't recognized it yet. And that is an absolutely awesome thing, because then I can look at anything and go, oh, that could be my happy surprise. Oh, that could be too. I could get more than one today. So when I actually am in the place of going, oh yeah, this is my happy surprise, at the end of the day, I'm going, oh yeah, yes. I was so richly rewarded with happy surprises.
You find there was more than one.
Right. And I'm giving happy surprises out because I'm in the place of happy surprises. So
Exactly.
Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. So as I'm looking for the gift to me, I'm being the gift to somebody else. And sometimes that gift comes in what I write. Sometimes it comes in what I say. Sometimes it comes in just some crazy little cartoon thing that I share with somebody.
A random phone call made.
A random phone call made. Yes, I did that yesterday. That was so much fun.
The point is like everybody has to be aware of it to make it work on a grander scale. And
it still works.
In the beginning of time, people have always thought about giving to others, which is great, but they don't realize that people are giving to them constantly in small ways that are truly gifts from the heart and from the soul of each person that shows up in front of you, and when they show up in whatever way, to make your day different, sweeter, brighter, whatever.
Yes.
And I think that ultimately is so much about what the Christmas holiday represents, and something completely different than so many people probably would think, with all the bells and whistles and lights and pretty doodahs and hoo-has and whatever else Dr. Seuss called it.
Yep.
Whatchamacallits and thingamajigs. but yes. So I think we are extremely early.
Our gifts. When we don't know what our gifts are, we don't know what our talents are, then the idea is to set for me, to set a mental intention to be the expression of love. And however that comes out will play out in terms of my gifts and talents.
That's a good intention. That is a very good intention. And again, as I was saying before, I think everyone should hone in more. And if they do that at the beginning of this year on what they truly do offer, and look at themselves and look individually at each one of our hearts and what we do and what we represent when we show up into the outer world around us. And even people that we have in our households or our immediate neighbors or people we see every day, however that looks. It's like, how do you show up, and where are the gifts in those ways and means of showing up?
Yes.
Do you have people that you show up at the stores that smile because you walk in the door and they're just happy to see you, whether you're there to buy anything or not? You know, do you resonate so people are seemingly joyful and happy to see you come? Or are you like the person Sue Ellen referenced that didn't smile back and they just want to see you go? You know, a gift is a gift. It doesn't, it kind of works both ways. But at any rate. So I think I would like to do a little guided meditation this evening, since we have plenty of time for that. So I'm going to turn on a little bit of Christmas music to start us off. If I can get this back on here. And nope, that's not going to happen. And that's okay. There's technical challenges. So we can just think to ourselves as we close our eyes and settle back into our chairs, onto our pillows, against our backs, with our feet to the floor, completely relaxed. And we take a deep breath in, knowing that we are loved and supported, especially at this time as we are in this group and in this meeting and listening to this talk. You are loved and supported. I cannot stress that enough. No matter where you are, when you may hear this, right now, here in the moment, or in the future. And as you think to yourself, I am loved and supported, know that you are also loved and supportive. That is one of the gifts that we all have the ability to give. And as you take a deep breath in, you're breathing in God's energy, the life force that is burning through each and every one of us, and each and everything in and around us every single day. As you exhale, you're exhaling that same energy, that same power that is rooted in love. And I want you to think about the concepts of Christmas as you slowly move into that quiet space, that inner chamber that we all have, the quietness that is that God within us, that special place that we can always escape to no matter what's going on around us. And as you hold that space and that consciousness, just contemplate in simplest terms and allow what comes, the gifts that you offer and have offered in the past, the things that aren't necessarily tangible, the thoughts that you've put out for healing energy towards people that are having health issues or any kind of thing that needs healing. The actions of our daily lives, the smiles that you've given, the random, unexpected compliments that you've paid, the simple gestures of holding the door for someone, giving somebody your seat that seems to and obviously needs it more than you do. And at the same time, think about the gifts that people offer to you and extend to you, which could be exactly the opposite. Somebody sees that you are tired or should be sitting and they stand up for you to sit down. They hold the door for you when you're carrying packages or when they're on their way into a store or a location. They smile at you first. Just take a few quiet moments. Allow that energy of God and gifting to guide you through and see what shows up for you.
It brings such joy each time I recall.
And you never know what's going to show up. Sometimes we get interrupted, and that's okay. Life is full of interruptions, and how we deal with them is, again, part of our gift giving. Just perception. So now, as we bring ourselves back to reality, gently this time, and we re-enter the present moment, holding onto the things that we may have discovered about ourselves, or possibly about others that we come in contact with that we may not have fully recognized in the past. We bring ourselves back into this space of the here and now. And we continue with our meeting. And when you're ready, open your eyes and stretch, bring yourself back in. I do apologize to everyone for the technical difficulties and the slight outburst of country western Christmas tunes. Like I said, technology doesn't always work as well as we would like it to sometimes. But so for those of us on the conversation right now and on this immediate minutes meeting, did anything come up special that you would like to share? And if not, that's okay.
I had a box with a bow on it, like it was wrapped up, that was kind of presented to me. And so I opened it, and it was all the things that, well, no, not all the things, but it like had like one of those wax smiles in it. And I think that's because you guys had said smiles, but smiles and sunshine, and had tangible things of and a heart, but tangible things of those kinds of expressions that we give out. And it was funny that a part of me, one part of my brain went, "Hey, that's a fake smile," and then it was like, no, they're never fake. It was just like this voice, no, they're never fake. But it was interesting. And then there were some other things in there that I couldn't name, or and that were not tangible, but there were other things in the box. And it was an inference about going about my day. God, it was like a dream, so now I can't remember all of it. But that was kind of fascinating.
Kind of like things that you can't quite put your finger on, but you know they're there.
Yeah. But it was all good stuff.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So, Sue Ellen, do you have anything to add?
I didn't come up with anything. I think your box is magic, but I didn't come up with any of that as well. But when we're talking with gifts, about gifts, one of the things that I've been doing is writing to my grandchildren and giving them all kinds of advice, which they can use or not. I don't care. I'm not attached to the advice, except as it applies in my life. But the story that I wrote today is one that came out of the Science of Mind teachings for children. And I was writing to my 6-year-old grandson. I want to say the name was Bessie Neeson or something like that wrote the story. But it was about a little girl who had been given the gift of being able to see tragedies or bad things happen before they happen.
Wow.
So she could, when she would warn people, then they wouldn't believe her and they would make fun of her. And then when it happened, then they would somehow think she was to blame. So she was really having trouble with this gift, and she's 9, so she just wants to be ordinary. And she's on her way to school. They're having a new substitute teacher, and she sees the teacher in front of her, doesn't know her name, but in her mind sees a car spin out of control as the teacher's crossing the street. So she hollers at the teacher by name and said, wait, 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 and goes running up to her and says, there's going to be an accident here. And before the teacher, can really go, what are you talking about? A car comes spinning out of control, literally spinning through the intersection, and would have hit her, of course, if she'd been in the street. So the teacher then puts her arms around the little girl, says, thank you, you saved my life. And the little girl goes, I just want to be normal. I don't want to have this gift. I don't want to have this talent. I don't want to have this. I don't want to be weird. And the teacher then says, it's a gift that you have from God, because he needs somebody like you to have extra sight to help him with those things that need to be done. So you need to, part of it was you need to learn how to use your gift. And sometimes that means you don't tell anybody that you have it until they need it, and then figuring out how to do that in the best way possible. So it was kind of like, here we are talking about gifts, and had just typed this story out to send to my 6-year-old grandson, that we all have gifts of some kind. We don't always know what they are.
And sometimes they seem like they're not a gift. They're just the opposite, or a curse, as opposed to the gift that they are.
Right. Or it seems like, oh my gosh, when I first started writing these letters, it seemed like drudgery, because I was having to do, not so much drudgery, because I was enjoying the process of it, but having to do it every day made it seem more like work. And
right.
Now I relaxed into the idea that I can just talk and, or find something like that to share, and it all works out okay. So it's a different piece. A gift, certainly on some level, it's a gift.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I don't yet know what the gift of me falling on my face was, except that I know there is something. Somehow or other, my brain is now different than it was before, and I don't know what that difference is, but we'll figure it out at some point.
Well, you had the gift of remembering that you can heal, because you've healed up beautifully.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You had the gift of being there as literal support to your boss at work, who also fell and looked equally as bad, but you could rejoice in it together and heal together.
I'm not wearing any glasses at the moment.
So, it's all perspective.
Right, exactly.
It's all perspective. And if we choose to find a positive perspective, even in what seems like the most painful, hurtful, heinous situations that we may encounter as in our human being forms and human doing forms, the accidents and the missteps and miscalculations and whatever's in life, it makes life so much more joyful for us, certainly, if we can find those happy things instead of looking at the negatives.
It's true.
So I'm going to start to wrap this up. We are a little bit ahead of time tonight. It's only 7:40, but as we know, that Inner Journey is a not-for-profit, and each one of these nights we have this period of time. So my word is love, and this is the number to text to for any contributions, which helps keep Inner Journey going. And I think that is legible. I hope it is.
405-237.
And as I said, I got, because of my wonderful husband, a new love emblem to show up for everybody. And he even painted it himself for me.
Yay! Go, Brian.
Isn't that sweet? He's very artistic that way. So, as we close out the night, I want to invite everybody to just take a deep breath in, knowing that you are each each one of us and each one of you are, without a doubt in my mind, overflowing with gifts that you give every single day, whether you realize it or not. I know that there is only one God, and God flows in and through and as every single thing and every single one, even the people that we don't necessarily resonate with or on a daily basis particularly like all the time, but that God is still there. And that energy that animates and gives life and is at the core of everything, even the things that don't seem to be changing, that seem to be a solid mass at their atom level of existence, they still are changing. The hardest substances still have gifts to give. A rock that seems to be just a rock offers gifts if you just think about it. So needless to say, we as animated human beings, mobile and not rooted to one place in time, have the most ability to give our gifts out into the world, into humanity, and into the sentient beings of the world. All life is a gift, and each one of us are blessed with the ability to give our unique gifts every single day, not just on Christmas. But Christmas is a great time to remember that. And as we move forward from this night and into the holidays and into the coming new year, I know that each one of you will embrace the gifts that you have and develop even more and find even more that are already within you that you can do, give, and be, so that you are always showing up in your highest and best gift-giving self. And in return, I know that that comes full circle, because as we give, we receive. It's just the law at work. And it's okay to receive. It is absolutely okay to receive the gifts in return that we receive. And knowing this to be true, I release my word into the law, knowing it to be done, whole, perfect, and complete. And before I close this prayer out, I want to remind everybody that I know without a doubt that you are powerful beings filled with an amazing amount of energy and the amazing ability to make a difference every day in your life. And I release my word into God's amazing power to make it so and manifest fully. And together we affirm this by saying, and so it is.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all. Have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. And I believe Sue Ellen is doing a night on the Thursday. What are you doing? The visioning?
No, we don't have another night in
You don't
December.
have a visioning before New Year's? I wasn't sure if we did or not
We do not have one this year.
this year. Okay.
So we have,
Then stay tuned.
then we could do visioning on the 4th or something along those lines. What do you think?
Great.
I'm not sure. I had to have to look at my calendar, but
Well, it's the first
wanting
weekend.
everyone stay tuned. Find us on Facebook at Inner Journey on Facebook. You'll find us there with the smiling happy face. We try to always let everybody know when we're doing our Thrive Thursdays or Visioning Days. So hope to see everybody in the near future, and have a wonderful and blessed, safe New Year's Eve. And we will see you in 2024.